Ooh.
From a medical standpoint, what do you think of if it fits your macros? Go ahead. Medical standpoint. So, different way to phrase it. How is it in terms of it impacting your health?
Oh, fuck. Well, does that take into account your psychological health?
Yeah.
Well then, okay, here's the thing. Let's not make assumptions about what we're talking about here. I don't even know what the writer of this question is specifically addressing either. Because different people have different definitions of what? If it fits your macros diet?
Macros, yeah, flexible dieting.
Is that what he wrote?
If it fits your... Look.
Where? Okay. What do you think? Oh, he just said IIFYM. Okay. Different people think different things. If I could be the president of the word or the acronym IIFYM, and represent everyone who happens to count their macros, which I could never possibly do. Basically, everyone who counts their macros pretty much eats 70 to 90% nutrient-dense foods or unprocessed / whole foods, and so we kind of have to set that as like what flexible eating really is the majority of the foods that these people eat who subscribe to this sort of eating are usually healthy, or at least that's the model. That's what you're supposed to do. And everyone who even calls themselves a flexible dieter, whether they eat that nutritious or not, they know that's how they should be eating. And everyone knows that's how you should be eating. And everyone knows they should be eating 2+ vegetables, 2+ fruits with an adequate amount of fiber, a good amount of water, and it's like basic common sense, and everyone knows they should be doing that.
Well, you would hope that everyone knows that they should be doing that.
Yeah, no matter what. So that's okay. Thanks, babe. I'm right here.
You're fine.
So that's what flexible dieting is. That's what it's supposed to be. And if anyone says it's something else, then they're misrepresenting it completely. That's the way you're supposed to eat. So what do I think of that? I don't know. That's like saying, like, what do you think about the most psychologically sound way of doing anything? It's just like, I don't know.
Well, we were actually listening to a podcast with Lane Norton earlier, and he was talking about his experience with flexible dieting, and he also had on a competitor. I think she's like a bikini competitor or something.
Her name's
like
Sohee
Lee was on there, and they were talking about their experience with going from like the diet, the meal plans, like traditional dieting, like egg whites, chicken breast, and broccoli, and that's all you eat, going to flexible dieting. And what they were talking about is the difference in
where am I going now?
Their response to it. Here, you can take them out.
Yeah.
Their response to being able to eat other types of foods versus restricting yourself to only certain types of foods. And from a I guess like a psychological mindset, I think that's more healthy.
It's the biggest fucking
that's
thing.
more healthy, because honestly, like eating, this isn't going to like kill you. Like we got like one. Like this isn't going to make you fat, nor is it going to clog your arteries. And I think most people are concerned about the getting fat part. They don't care about their heart, especially at this age. We're young. What were you gonna say?
I think the psychological benefits outweigh any possible negatives of eating a little bit of processed food here and there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Any of the negatives that eating a little bit of processed food will cause you.
Right. Your body has means to break things down that are bad inside. Like they're not gonna hurt you, except for trans fats. Trans fats, we actually trans fats, your body can't process them because they're not natural. They're not made in nature. They're created in like factories. And we can't break them down, and they are harmful to your health. And
the funny thing is now, it's like I don't even right now I don't track macros unless I'm like doing a really dedicated or really like serious, deliberate cut. And like the relationship with food is so relaxed that like there's no possible way for me to catch an eating disorder, like period, right now. No
not gonna
way.
catch one.
I cannot catch an eating disorder at all right now. One that would negatively affect my health. Whereas, yeah.
And
That's all I know.
yeah, well, eating disorders are pretty common though. A lot of people struggle with that, especially, I mean, they come in all sorts of formats. You know, some people eat too little, some people eat too much and throw it up, some people eat too much and then don't try to get rid of it. That's binge eating. Some people are too scared to eat anything except for broccoli and chicken breast. That's called orthorexia, right? Is that how you say it?
Yeah. What do you think of its macros from a medical point of view, huh?
From a
medical point of view. I'm pretty
like
sure from the medical point of view, it must be a happy sign, because usually people who get to medical school appreciate science. Appreciate science.
You mean medical school?
Yeah, usually people that go to medical school kind of have a thing for science, and that's all that, like, even if people say I count macros, or I understand macros, or I acknowledge their existence, you're really just saying, like, that you kind of acknowledge science and the way that the body works, which is super cool.
Even if you don't know you're saying
like,
that.
even if you don't track them, like, I don't track them. Like, today, I ate this, that, Chipotle, random shit, didn't track anything, but I cannot deny the existence of the macronutrients and the foods that I ate and their effect on my body composition. I can't deny the existence of micronutrients. I can't deny the existence of gravity just because I jump in the air, or can't be like gravity doesn't exist. It does.
You need it. That came from the podcast.
Yeah, it came from the Lane North podcast. And you know,
yeah,
it's cool.
So
it's
from a medical standpoint, I think it's a very good idea, as long as you remember that you're not just eating to lose weight.
Now,
the reason why you're eating is not to lose weight only. You're fueling your body, and you're also keeping your body healthy.
Now let's play devil's advocate and look at some of the possible downsides, such as there are people out there who will begin weighing their food for whatever the reason.
Turn right
cutting.
at the slide up here, babe.
You know, people will begin weighing their foods for weight loss purposes or weight gaining purposes, and you can develop obsessive type of behavior with that as well.
I did.
A lot of people will have their own, undocumented eating disorders based on their obsessiveness to count every single macronutrient, every gram of carb, fat, protein that they put in their body. And it really depends on the individual. Jesus, man, stop. Just get off my ass. It really depends on the individual, because there are certain people out there who, for them, tracking every single food they eat doesn't make them less healthy. But there are people, like, for example, me, if I was I don't track macros way deep in the off season, because it would not affect me in a healthy way. It just wouldn't. Like, I wouldn't be able to just do the things I do and be as free as I am if I was walking around with a food scale everywhere I go.
We go out to eat and you pull a food scale.
Yeah.
A dry baked potato.
And I mean, and it's a different story if, say, I was having a bodybuilding competition a week from now. I wouldn't say that would be necessarily unhealthy. It's just a price that you'd have to pay in that sort of scenario. But would it be unhealthy? Do I think it's unhealthy for a dude with so away from competitions? I don't know. It depends on that individual. It's really hard to just judge a person and just be like, oh, that's unhealthy.
Exactly. Well, exactly.
That's another thing.
Yeah.
So you really have to look at yourself and look at what you're doing and the style of eating that you choose, and decide, okay, what results is this producing? Is this a healthy level of flexibility for me? or lack of flexibility for me, because it really just depends on you. I understand and acknowledge this of macros. I absolutely choose at certain points in my life not to really worry too much, although I'll track in a bigger picture via eyeballing and estimation. But there are times when I'll be spot on 100% accurate. Most of the time though, I don't need to be 100% accurate, because the times that I was 100% accurate gave me a lot of context of what food looks like. And generally how full I am equals how much food's in me. I can look at food and be like, okay, that's generally this much amount of food, and that's how I that's kind of how I eat. But the cool thing is that only happened from tracking macros really accurately,
which makes sense. I think, like, if you haven't had a background in like a science nature, like, you wouldn't really understand, you know, the structure of carbohydrates, the structure of protein, the structure of fat, and the effect it has on the body. Like, I mean, I didn't learn that until sophomore, junior year of college. I mean, I think it's also important to remember, oh sorry, we're gonna turn left into the shopping center up here, so get in this lane. I think it's important to remember that a lot of people do struggle with food intake.
That's right here?
Yep, in here. Get in this, turn in there. Yeah, there's a pizza thing in here. A lot of people do struggle with food intake. Some people don't, but a lot of people do. And if you're having trouble with it, it really helps to talk to someone.
For some people, it's not something you can really handle on your own. You really gotta see a specialist.
Yeah.
Really seek counseling.
Yeah. And I think it's okay to admit that you're having a problem with it too. Like, a lot of people wouldn't really want to admit they have a problem. Park right here. But anyway, that's just like another thing to remember, that sometimes, like, if it fits your macros, doesn't, like, that sort of flexible, like, freeing type of lifestyle just doesn't come natural to people, and it might not come natural, and it's okay to talk about it. It's hard to change habits.
It's good for you to know that the body works in the realm of macros. Yeah. And that's how it works, but you may not function best by tracking every freaking gram of every food you eat. You may be best off just not giving fucks about your body composition, more so worry about your performance in the gym. Exactly. And just eating clean foods, perhaps. Like, I actually recommend most people just eat clean foods for the most part. Yeah. They're because they're nutritious. Yeah. But to understand that the reason their body changes is due to the macros.
Right, due to the amount of macronutrients that you're intaking.
The amount of the fucking clean ass foods you eat, that's what happens to your body. But most of us should be eating clean foods, like, the majority of the time. Right. I mean, unless you're fucking on vacation with a sexy ass girl like this, I ain't got no time to eat clean. I mean, at restaurants and shit.
And Chipotle. We had Chipotle. Yeah. And a donut. Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Do we even answer the question like the way you wanted to answer?
Yeah. Well,
there's so many different angles and ways to look at it. There's so many different ways to look at it.
From a medical standpoint, if people take it to the point where, well, I can eat anything if it fits my macros, well, then that's not necessarily a healthy mindset.
And that's not what. And no one told you that. Right. No one told you that. No. Nobody told anyone that. People who are advocating that. Know what they're advocating for if it fits your macros, are still advocating for you to eat a healthy diet, because again, you're not only eating to lose or gain weight or to gain an ideal body, you're eating to take care of yourself. Yeah, my thing is just know how the body works in terms of body composition.
Pay attention to biochemistry.
Which equals the macros. You don't even have to track them, just know that shit is how it works.
Protein, carb, and fat. Pretty cool.
And of course, there's lots of other different things, like there's so many other topics that involving nutrition. It's just, when it comes to your body composition, the total daily macros, or the big picture.
Or weekly. It's okay if you overeat, like, if you're supposed to be eating 2,500 calories, sorry, I counted things by calories, and you eat 3,000, like, you know, like you go on vacation and you eat a cheesecake and like you already ate too much, like, don't panic. It really, your body will store that probably as glycogen. It may store it like a little bit of as fat, but you'll burn it off eventually. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Your body can handle itself. That's all.
That's a different topic.
That is a different topic.
Yeah. Because I would also say, don't go fucking too crazy. Because a lot of people are like, yeah, I'm gonna go over my calories, and they go like over like 8 million.
Well, that's why I said weekly matters. Like, you want a weekly average to matter.
Well, yeah.
That's why I only jumped up 500.
Yeah, if you have a day or two where you're like really under or really over, it's not that huge of a deal.
Yeah, it's not that big of a deal. Just
the next
more,
best
less
thing, the next best thing after hitting your daily macros or hitting your buy daily.
Buy daily.
Does that even make sense?
Yeah, like every 2 days.
Yeah. So if today you literally if like the next best thing within a 24-hour period is a 25-hour period and then a 26-hour period. So basically that's why it's you want to hit, like, if you're paying a coach to tell you what macros to hit, like me for example, I tell you what macros to hit. If you can't hit it in the 24-hour period, whether you're over or under, then the next best thing is to hit it within the 40-hour period.
Mm-hmm.
So the 12 hours before, 12 hours, blah, 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 this and that. Sun goes up, sun goes down. When do the macros restart? When the sun comes up and when the sun goes down. Shit. It's like 12:01, new macros. Cheers. You just start.
Grab the Pop-Tarts. You eat like all of your food at midnight every night.
all the food from the next day.
Yeah.
Like you're like that's like an eating disorder all of its own. Yeah. You're just like, it's called like.
You're like, I'm dieting at midnight. It's called the midnight diet.
It's called like midnight nervosa.
Midnight nervosa.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Good one.
That's
babe.
the longest tangent that
Good
I've
one, babe.
ever seen.
I like that tangent.
On this topic.
Good job, babe.
Yeah. We're not doctors, so do not use any of this information.
I'm almost a doctor.
Sure.
But still, don't take what I say as medical advice, because it's not.
Yeah, it's definitely not medical advice.
We did research. Like, we're not just like, you know, making this up in our brain. But we also haven't gone through 4 years of medical school.
You will.
I will. Also, we saw American Sniper, and now I'm for sure joining the armed forces.
Wow, strong.
Probably the Navy.
Really?
That's what I'm thinking, yeah. My grandpa was in the Navy.
Why? Are you going to do it because of that?
Yeah.
Because your grandpa was in the Navy?
Yeah. And I like their bases.
My grandpa lived in the Philippines.
Okay.
I'm going to move to the Philippines.
Well, no, that's not the the reason why I want to join the armed forces isn't because my grandpa was in the Navy. It's because I want to.
Hey, quit being a little bitch! Ogus cake!